What's up, YouTube? Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know I was like that. Back with the story time, and this story time is about the time that me and my best friend snuck out of the house. Okay, so I met my best friend in the 8th grade. I had just moved to a new city, and I don't know what it is about me when I move places, because I've been to 13 different schools, but every time I move I never can remember what bus to get on, what's the name of my apartment complex, and how to get home. Like, I can never remember that. Let me know in the comments if that's ever happened to you guys. Like, I literally would have dreams about getting on the wrong bus. Like, that's how traumatizing it was. So first day of school come, and I meet this girl at the bus stop. Well, I didn't meet her, I saw her at the bus stop or whatever, and so I'm telling myself, okay, like, when it's time to get back home, I'm going to look for this same girl that I remember, and that's how I'm going to get home. She lives in my neighborhood, like, cool. So school comes, it was a horrible first day, I hate that school, and it's time to get back home, so I find the girl. You know what, I think we had a few classes together, so it was easy for me to find her at the end of the day. So I find her, get on the bus, I follow her to get off the bus. Like, the whole time I'm not telling this girl that I'm, like, basically stalking her. So I find her, get off the bus, and she's like, hey, you know, you want me to walk you home? And I'm just looking like, no, weirdo, why would I want you to walk me home? Like, that was just the creepiest thing to me. But I'm just like, and I'm saying that that's creepy as if I wasn't stalking her every move so that I knew how to get home. And I'm just like, yeah, I mean, sure. So she walks me home, and ever since that, we've been inseparable. Like, we've gotten in so much trouble, mostly her, because I never get caught, but we got in so much trouble. So Tasha was that super loyal friend. Like, if I got in trouble and my mama took my cell phone, Tasha would give me her cell phone, and I would take her phone home and text all my friends from, like, back home, because, like I said, I moved. Like, that's how loyal Tasha was. Like, I had a key to her apartment, or her mom's apartment. Like, we were just stuck at the hip. Like, that was still my girl to this day, actually. So, like, we went everywhere together. We used to have matching outfits. Like, we just did everything, you know, that normal middle school girls would do. So like I said, I had just moved to that city, so oftentimes I would go back home to my grandmother's house, and, you know, I would just have fun, like, meet all my old friends. My old neighborhood was so much fun. Mind you, it was in the ghetto, but you had the best times in the ghetto. Like, the hood is the funnest place ever, besides all the gangs and fights and shootings, and, you know, but the hood is, like, the funnest place ever. So I would love to go back home. Like, I just had so much fun back home. I wanted to move back so bad. Like, I did not want to live with my mama in this city. I did not. So whenever I was able to go back home, I would, one time I took Tasha with me home. So take her home. It's about an hour away from where I moved to, and it was just so much fun. You know, she met all my family, my friends. She went to Bible study with my grandma. Like, we just had so much fun. So comes to nighttime now. My grandmother, she's very Christian woman, very strict. Actually, she really wasn't that strict, but, you know, just certain rules, like when street lights come on, you need to go out, you know, come in the house. But that wasn't fun. Like, everybody else got to stay out longer, and maybe it's because most of my other friends, they had brothers or boy cousins that, you know, they can hang out with later on, like their parents, you know, trusted them to be with that. But my boy cousins were just all around. Like, you never really knew when they was coming back. Like, they were just everywhere. So my grandmother, you know, when the street light come on, you go in the house. So we hung out the whole day, basically. I just took her to all my friends' houses, like, oh, this is so-and-so, and this is her brother, and this is so-and-so, and so-and-so, and this is so-and-so, and so-and-so, and this is her and her cousin, like, this is her grandma. Like, I introduced Tasha to the whole freaking neighborhood. Like, at this point, we were having a blast. So we come back in for the street lights, and we're like, what in the world? Like, that's so boring. It was early. It was like 9, 10 o'clock. Like, that's early to me. So it was early. We're like, we don't want to stay in the house. Like, nobody wants to do that. That's so freaking boring. So Tasha was like, you know what? I don't even know if this was Tasha's idea or my idea, because we were equally bad. She just always got caught. So we're like, let's sneak out. And I'm like, I never snuck out before. Like, my cousin used to sneak out all the time at my grandma's house. He'd sneak out all the time, and I would let him back in through the back door or let him in through the window. He'd sneak out all the time. So I'm like, okay, he used to do that. I never did it. Like, I don't know what to do. And so we get this bright idea. You know how you see on movies where the kids sneak out and they put like fake things into the bed so it looks like a body? I can't believe I'm telling on myself, because my grandma watched my video. So we go and we put, my cousin had some bats. So we put bats as our legs. We put like sock hanging out of the cover, like our feet. My grandmother had some wigs. We put the wigs like hanging out of the cover, and then we just had one of the arms over the other fake arm, like, and we opened the window. So as we opened the window, Tasha's footsteps were so freaking light, soft, graceful, and I'm just thinking, like, you did this before. Like, my older sister used to sneak out. Well, she used to have to take me with her, or I was gonna tell. But even when she snuck out, it was like everybody was so graceful. But when it was my time to sneak out of my mama's house, of my grandma's house, my footsteps were like so freaking loud. Oh my gosh. And the room that we were in was right beside my grandma's room, like right beside her window. So I'm like, she's about to hear us. She's gonna come out here and she's gonna kill me. Like, she's gonna kill me. So we ended up managing to sneak out the house. So we sneak out the house, and we literally run up the street to my friend's house. We literally run up the street. So as we get up there, you know, we're just chilling, having a good time. Like, their mom always had snacks. She had all the snacks in the world, so we just having snacks. And it was my friend, it was my homegirl, and she had 3 brothers. 2 of them was twins, and then it was like my other friend, and she had like two boy cousins. It was a whole bunch of fun. Like, that was worth it. If we would have gotten in trouble, it would have been worth it, because we were just hanging out. Like, it was just so much fun. Like, everybody in our neighborhood was like a big family, so it was just so much fun to hang out with people that I grew up with. And then I get to introduce my best friend. Like, I just love Tasha. She's so freaking amazing. Like, mind you, we got in trouble all the time, but Tasha was super, super smart. Like, she plays a whole bunch of instruments, like the guitar, I don't remember, but she played everything. She plays everything, and I'm just showing her off like, this is my woman. I don't know why I was so pressed to show her off. I don't know, but we had so much fun. Going back to the house, like sneaking back in through the window. This time I was a lot more graceful, and that was just the end of that. Like, so the next day we do it all over again. But this time we go to my other friend's house. And so it was me, Tasha, my friend. We're at her grandmother's house because she lived with her grandmother. So it's me, Tasha, my friend, her grandparents, and her 2 cousins or whatever. And kids just being kids. Somebody out of the kids decided to go sneak out the window. So they sneak out the window, but because, like I said, our neighborhood is a big family. So the 2 of them that snuck out the window this time, there was a family up on the hill having a cookout. It was late at night. Why were they having a cookout late at night? Mind your business. But they ended up seeing the 2 people that snuck out the window. That created a whole big thing, because nobody was snitching on who it was. They could only see from a distance, and they just seen a boy and a girl. Nobody was telling who it was they seen. So it was just a big, like, interrogation, like, between her grandparents and my grandma, like my mom. Everybody was trying to figure out, like, who was 2 kids out there. It was so many different versions of the story. One said it was my friend, I'm not gonna mention her name, but one said it was her, and then it was my cousin. That was wrong. My cousin wasn't even there. He was in the neighborhood, but he wasn't there. Then they said it was me and my cousin. That was wrong. And it's also weird, because why would I sneak out the window with my cousin? Like, what are you trying to say? That was weird. And that was the story for a long time, me and my cousin. And it just didn't make sense. Like, we looked that's like my brother. What? So then it was me and my friend's cousin that snuck out the window. Me and the other boy. That didn't happen. Like, what? My grandma ended up getting to the bottom of it and found out that it was, of course, Tasha and my friend cousin. My grandma got to the bottom of it because one thing about us, like, we did a whole bunch of stuff, but we didn't lie. If we got caught, well, I didn't get caught ever, but if she got caught, you know, she didn't lie. If you ask the right question, she was going to tell you the truth. So my grandmother, of course, ended up finding out what happened. Needless to say, the house we were at, I wasn't allowed to come back over there ever again. Like, my friend's grandparents, she did not play that. She did not want me to come, because she was still thinking that it was me. Even if we was telling her it wasn't me, it was somebody else, she just had in her mind that it was me. I don't know what that was about. Like, I don't know if our family got some secret type of beef. I know our grandfathers used to be best friends. I don't know if her family had secret type of beef with my family, but she just swear up and down it was me. So she wouldn't let me come back over there, like, ever again. So if I wanted to hang out with my other friend, my back home best friend, if I wanted to hang out with her, we had to sneak and hang out because she did not want me coming over there for years. You know what? I think I'm gonna just pop up over there and say hey, just to see how she is, because I still love that lady. But yeah, that was the story time about when we snuck out the house, when we got in trouble, well, and they couldn't figure out, you know, who did what. So hope you guys enjoyed that sneaky story time. I have a whole lot more, so don't worry. Subscribe, like, and comment.